The Fourth Stall, Chapter 15. The next morning, as I left for school, I saw my dad on a ladder trying to scrub off congealed eggs. Congealed means like really stuck on there. My mom pulled the car out of the garage and waited for me. I'd had her drive me to school ever since the night the red car tried to kill me. I couldn't risk riding my bike or walking to school anymore. Christian, are you sure that you have no idea who might have done this? My dad asked, looking down at me. You have no clue who this Mac character is. I felt like melting into the cracks on the sidewalk. My dad had so much work ahead of him, and it was all my fault, but I still couldn't tell them, no matter how bad I felt. I had made a vow to keep my family and business separate, and I meant to keep it. No, Dad, I said. Okay, he sighed. I don't know if he believed me. I can help you with it after school, I said. He thought it over. Do you think you and some of your friends might want to come over and help clean it either today or tomorrow? I'll pay them, and then maybe afterwards they can come inside and watch a movie and have snacks. Sure, I'll ask them. They do love Mom's cookies, I said. Plus, we could always use more money, even if it was just like $5 or $10. $5 would buy almost half a Chicago dog at Wrigley Field. Okay, good, my dad said, and scanned the whole house from his ladder. This is going to take a long time if I have to do it all by myself. With that, he went back to scrubbing. My mom honked. I slowly turned and walked to the car. All morning, customers were demanding cheaper prices because had been so unavailable lately, and a few more came to me for loans to pay back gambling debts, which was a problem because my funds were getting low. According to Vince, we didn't have enough money to give out any more loans. The whole ordeal was embarrassing. I never turn away customers. It's just my business policy. The worst part was that my cash flow was drying up because more and more of the customers who I actually could help had to pay with favors. It wouldn't be long before we'd have to drain the emergency fund and then eventually the game fund as well. At the end of recess, I instructed Joe to deliver a message to Justin during a class they had together right before lunch. The message was a proposal for a meeting to discuss business. I thought it sounded pretty political. At the end of the note, I said Justin could choose the time and place, but it had to be on school grounds and it had to be this week. Joe returned with only 5 minutes left in the lunch period. He handed me the note I'd given to him earlier. I unfolded the crumpled piece of paper and looked at the bottom. Something had been written in blue ink. It was just 4 words: tomorrow, for the shed. The shed is this little shack near the school's track and football field. It's where the janitor keeps all the yard work stuff like the lawnmower and sprinklers and other junk like that. It's also where all the kids who smoke gather during recess. The shed is down the hill, across the football and baseball fields, and way out near the street. This chunk of the school property farthest from the actual school building. It is a perfect place for kids to smoke because the recess supervisor on the side of the school hates walking, so she never really goes much past the first goalpost of the football field. They never get caught, and no one ever squeals on them because squealing at our school gets you beat up. It's a pretty universal rule, and we all follow it whether we want to or not. I was already forming a second part of my plan. The shed was actually a great place to have the meeting because I could really use it to my advantage. All I needed was to get inside. It's kept locked at all times, but like I said before, I'm in tight with the janitor, so I knew he'd lend me the key for a few days. The plan was coming together rather nicely, almost too well. In my experience, things just don't come this easily. After reading Justin's response to my note, I looked up at Joe. He looked back, waiting for my reaction. It's on, I said. He smiled. Go find the bullies and tell them to meet me in my office during afternoon recess, I said. All I had to do now was to brief the bullies and pay a visit to the janitor, and our plan would be underway. Tomorrow, for the shed, we'd be ready, and Justin Johnson would never see it coming.